Hello everyone, it's Darkseeker here again. Welcome back to another video. It is the start of the December season and we are playing Slizzle466's Aggro Druid. This is one of my favourite decks to ladder up with or to rank up with because it's a very straightforward deck, it's cheap, it only plays one legendary, which is Patches, and the games are super quick. Yeah, it's a solid deck, and I've featured it twice already on my channel. Our aim is to get to rank 10 with this deck, and once I hit rank 10, I'm pretty happy. And then, of course, the new expansion arrives in a few days' time, so I can then experiment with new decks without fear of dropping below rank 10. So the strategy with this deck is simple. Play your early curve, buff your minions, savage draw, win the game. Refill the board with living mana if required. And of course, let's not forget Crypt Lord, Crazed Alchemist, crazy combos. You know, that can be, you know, game winning from time to time as well. So let's have a look at a few highlights of this deck in action on the Wild Mode ladder, starting off against a Giants Hunter. Okay, so this Hunter is playing the slow game, and in response, I'm going to push damage to the face. And that's the only way that I win this game. I have to be aggressive. You know, you can see that I ignored his 2/2 minion because I was prioritising face damage. And you have to prioritise face damage here because once the giants come out, that's it, you're dead. So it's all about pushing damage, hope that you draw into savage draw, hope that you get more buff effects. And here come the giants. Okay, 2 mountain giants. Sea giant, molten giant. Will he play any more? No, 4 giants on board here. But I've got 2 taunts up. And one of those taunts is a Crypt Lord. So the priority here, I think, is to keep the taunt strong, to buff up my Crypt Lord as much as possible. I can play an additional taunt, I can buff my board, and I can go face. Okay, the Crypt Lord continues to grow, and now he's going to need multiple hits to get through 2 of my taunts. That's pretty good. And we're just pushing face. Put him down to 1. That's pretty insane. So now if he doesn't have a taunt, I can just hero power and win the game. All of that on turn 6. He's playing more giants. Do I care? No, I don't think I do. I mean, how does he protect his face here? He'd have to clear my entire board and stop me from hero powering. Oh god, okay. Death Lord. This is a problem. This is actually now a problem because depending on how much he clears, I have to have enough to get through the Death Lord. There is a secret up as well. Could be freezing trap. Oh wow, look at this. So, we have... Oh, that's really good. What a top deck. Crazed Alchemist.
I love my new recipe.
It's not freezing trap.
Well played.
Okay, it's explosive. Fair enough. Wow, what a win. Feels good. Very close game as well, but that's enough to send us into rank 11.
Shall bring victory. I must
Okay, so our next game is against a priest. Now, I'm going to keep the Firefly. It's reasonable. Oh god, Patches. It's reasonable early game, which can be buffed up with Power of the Wild. Getting Patches in my opening hand, I mean, that's becoming a very common thing for me now, and it's quite annoying. But as I say, this early game is decent. It can be buffed up. We can play the Firefly, or we can play the Living Roots, and actually, Living Roots may be better. And the reason it's better is because if he plays an All-Shire Cleric, we can buff the board up and trade in. So that's and have 2 bodies left on the board at 1 health. Okay, he doesn't play anything. Okay, I'm choosing to play the taunt here. I could have played Firefly and the token that comes out of it. I think I value getting a 1/5 on the board here. I think it's just a little bit stronger. We can buff it next turn. This could bring out Shadow Word Pain as well, which is good. You know, you get Shadow Word Pain on your 1/5, which means he doesn't have Shadow Word Pain for your Crypt Lord. Okay. So we just push here. And what we're scared of is board clears. Shadow Word Horror is something that priests are running more frequently now. That card has made a comeback, and it would be absolutely devastating here. I've lost a few games with this deck to Shadow Word Horror. It's just another tool in their deck to clear stuff from board. Now that's interesting. Okay. I got scared for a moment when he stole my taunt, thinking, oh, is he going to do something to it? Is he going to silence it in some way and keep it on his board? Thank God he didn't. Okay, we're going all in here. Now what's critical is we have a 4 attack minion on board, immune to Shadow Word Death, immune to Shadow Word Pain. This is respectable. Immune to Shadow Word Horror as well. Excavated Evil. Okay, fair enough.
Who's up for an adventure?
Taking the Paladin hero power would potentially seem sensible, but I'm actually going to take the Mage hero power. I value the damage it can do to his face, but at the same time I value its ability to kill enemy minions directly, so yeah, that's my reason for picking the Mage hero power there. Okay, Sludge Belcher is rather annoying. We have a Savage Roar in hand, but we're not going to use it because we're saving that for lethal. If you're forced to use Savage Roar to get through taunts, and especially if you end up using both Savage Roars, your chances of getting lethal start to lessen, particularly against classes that can heal. Okay. We are super vulnerable to AoE here. But we've got Living Mana, which is a brilliant board refill for us. So it doesn't really matter if he AoEs now. It is turn 6, which means Reno could be in play. If he doesn't have Reno, we're expecting Dragonfire Potion, or even Light Bomb, but does Light Bomb really do anything to this board? It doesn't do much. This is the moment of truth for the priest. He has Kazakus. Okay, he's going to go for a 1-cost potion here. Be interesting to see how much he can clear from the board. Well, he's got to get the right combination in his potion. And there's a good chance he just whiffs on that and gets a potion that doesn't do much for him. Let's see what he does here.
Quickly.
Okay, does get the AoE potion. But it's not enough, right? We just have lethal. We have Savage Roar. Wow, easy win against the priest there. Feels good. especially considering how dominant Priest is. It's good to knock him down from time to time. And there's the win streak bonus, very close to rank 10.
Nature must be preserved.
So we're going to have a look at one final game here, and it's against a Druid. Now, it could be a mirror match, it could be another aggro token Druid, or it could be Jade Druid, or maybe even Big Druid. My money is on Jade Druid, and if it's Jade Druid, they'll have a slow start, they'll ramp up, and then bring out those big Jade Golems. Our plan is to kill them before those Jade Golems get too big, and one card we are worried about in this game is Spreading Plague. So again, we need to try and get enough of a board presence going, and find lethal before we get blocked by Spreading Plague. Because if he plays Spreading Plague, we'll probably have to invest Savage Roar to get through. I think our priority here is to play out our hand as quickly as possible, because we have Jeeves to refill. Wild Growth would suggest this is a slower variant of Druid. Let's see how quickly he can ramp up. And because we have Savage Roar in hand, I think we do need to prioritise hitting damage to the face, and then finding lethal as quickly as possible with Savage Roar. So there is the possibility that if he plays a minion that we maybe even ignore it and just, again, push face damage. Unless we can get a value trade, of course. Oh wow, the ramp is real here. He is ramping for mana, not drawing cards there with Nourish. Now the attack into my minion then, to my 3/3, is quite surprising. I'm wondering what he's setting me up for. Well, we don't care. We just buff the board again, go face again. And now we're setting up lethal with Savage Roar. This is pretty insane. Maybe he sees it coming, and there's two taunts in the way now. So lethal is blocked. But Crazed Alchemist here, which usually you'd reserve for Crypt Lord. Crazed Alchemist doing some work here for us. So pushing 4 to the face is reasonable. Wow, okay, there's the Drake. If we want to get through that and maintain some of our board, we're going to have to Savage Roar. This feels bad. But I guess that's the power of Druid after it's ramped up significantly. But we're still pushing a ridiculous amount of damage, and he's going to need more taunts, otherwise he's dead, basically. Okay, so Kun for armor there. Interesting. Do I play double Crypt Lord here? Or do I just Crypt Lord and Power of the Wild? If I Power of the Wild, I push a bit more damage.
The scourge will devour all.
He's so close to lethal here. Okay, so he'll kill the Crypt Lord. I assume he'll armor up.
So kind of you to join me.
And he's just dead. Just like that.
Well played.
As good as Medivh is there, he really needed some spells there to clear board, and he had nothing. So yeah, there's the win streak bonus into rank 10. So, Slizzle466's Aggro Druid deck, a favourite deck of mine for early ranking up on the Wild Mode ladder at the start of this season. The new expansion will be arriving in a few days, and it'll be interesting to see how Aggro/Token Druid changes with new cards that are coming through. If anyone's looked at the new cards and have got any suggestions on how to make this deck better, do leave a comment or two and tell me what you think. So, thank you very much for joining me, everyone. This will be my last video until the expansion hits. And once it hits, there will be a pack opening video. Haven't decided yet on how many packs I'm going to buy. I think last time I bought a ridiculous number of packs. It was like 400 or something, and I started getting duplicate legendaries. It was ridiculous. We won't be buying that many packs again. But yeah, stay tuned for a pack opening video when the new Hearthstone expansion hits in a few days.